Welcome to Travel and Work. We always bring you the latest updates, news and information about traveling, working, studying and living abroad. We hope you are doing great. Because of the situation on the ground, international students are finding it hard to survive and are looking for a way forward round the immigration rules. Since the announcement that dependents will no more be allowed to come with their partners who are students or care workers. There's a lot of confusion regarding dependents. There is a dilemma: if they go back to their home countries or even if they get a post-study work visa, after their studies, what next? They feel like these rules don't favor international students in any way and most of them are panicking and asking lots of questions. In this video, we will be answering some of the questions a lot of people have been asking and basically try to answer some of those questions. We want you to take notes that this is not a professional advice but just so that you know what to do after you move to the UK or after you finish your study. If you are already a student in the UK and you have your dependent living with you, now what is expected of you at this point? They have been stopping international students from moving to the UK with dependents and this rule has taken effect already. Secondly, international students cannot switch to another type of visa except to finish their study. If you're an international student in the UK, you're not expected to switch to any other type of visa, except you finish your study in the UK. The government came up with another rule that states that carers and senior carers would no longer be able to move with their dependents from spring of this year. So, if you are coming to study in the UK after your studies, you are expected to go back to your home country except you switch to a visa that allows you settle in the UK. So it's either you switch to a work visa or any other kind of visa or any visa that allows you to remain permanently in the UK. Study visa is not one of the visas that leads to settlement except you spend 10 years studying on a full-time basis, which could be very expensive. After your graduation, you want to start looking for ways to stay back in the UK if you want. Last year, most students switched to a carer visa because it's one of the easiest visas that is handy. Care jobs do not require any specific educational qualification to switch to. The care visa has really been easy for most students to switch to. Now that the government has banned carers and senior carers from bringing dependents to the UK from spring this year, it has now been difficult and the government has stated in the documents where they explained some of these measures. They said, if you are on any other type of visa in the UK, whether this visa allows dependents or not, if you switch to a care visa, when the rule has taken effect, you will not be allowed to stay with or bring dependents to the UK. What this implies is, if you get a care visa after spring of 2024, you will not be allowed to bring dependents. Take note that international students cannot switch to any other kind of visa until they complete their studies. If you as a student decide to wait till your study ends, what are you expected to do? Especially, if you are already here with dependents in the UK. Spring is only round the corner. You can either send your dependents or stay and apply for a non-carer job. This has been the panic and the fear of so many international students in the UK. The big question is, what next? What can we do? We started wondering how international students will survive this wave. Our advice to all international students is firstly to plan ahead. Even though the rule states that you cannot switch to another kind of visa until you complete your study, we would advise that you should start planning on time. You should start searching for a job in your field. There are thousands of jobs in the UK that are not healthcare jobs. For example, if you studied computer science, there are loads of employers looking for employees in the IT sector. Try and apply to a couple of them and you might be lucky to get one as soon as possible. Do not tie yourself to a care job. Be proactive enough and keep looking for jobs in your study fields. Also, we know that a lot of international students are complaining that they can't find employers that would employ them because of their degree background. We would suggest not to limit yourself. Spread your wings and the unthinkable miracle could happen. Do plan on time. Start quickly to look for a job in your field before you finish your studies. When it's time for you to apply, you can then switch and you will still be able to stay with your dependent. Don't wait until your visa expires. Only wait till you are about to finish your study before applying for this job that you already found. Leave some time frame. You cannot switch while still studying. You can speak with the employer or the company involved and explain to them that you will apply to the job or know you're standing with them. That after you have completed your studies, you will kickstart things. Secondly, another option is the post-study work visa. The post-work visa option is still there for you. It will give you 2 years to be able to sort yourself out until you're able to find a more permanent job that will extend your stay in the UK, including you and your family. If you don't have a dependent in the UK, that is fine. If you have, this will apply to you as well. In recent times, the UK government has said that they want to review the post-work visa, but they haven't. The post-work study visa routes are still much available and it gives you 2 years to stay back. During this period of 2 years, you can easily sort yourself out by finding yourself a permanent job, so that you can stay back with your family and not go back to your home country. In those 2 years, make sure you are very strategic with finding yourself a job. 2 years is not a lot as most people think. Do not be caught off guard and you are not able to find yourself a permanent job that you can settle with in the UK. Most people wait till the 2 years is about to finish before they start looking for a job and exploring other options. Do not wait till the last minute. Start looking as soon as possible to secure your stay in the UK. You can also explore the Global Talent Visa routes. Most people are qualified for the Global Talent Visa but they are not aware. You want to take your time and read about it, also about the technician academia and research. This visa route can also keep your family in the UK along with yourself. As you know, carers and senior carers are no longer allowed to bring their dependents from Spring. We can rightly say that at the moment the role is effective. The rule does not apply to someone who is already a dependent in the UK. This is for new applications this 2024. The third option we would advise you is that before you even apply for studying in the UK, you should do vast research. You can go for courses that are in demand in the UK. Go through the UK shortage list online on the government website. Do not just apply for any costs that will not lead anywhere if you have the intention of staying back in the UK. Enable yourself to have a higher chance of getting a job after graduation. This would help you get a job easily in your field once you graduate. If you want to know the truth, most people who apply for care jobs are people who studied courses that are not relevant in the job market in the UK. For example, if you are an international student and you apply for a sport degree or master's in sports, definitely you will not get a job as this is not on the shortage list. You will find it very difficult to get a job. They prefer to employ their own citizens and not employ people abroad. Anyone can easily work in a care job, but if you do your research and go for relevant courses that are in high demand, you will likely get a job. There are other jobs in the health care field like the dentists, opticians, teachers and doctors. These are still jobs in high demand and are not subjected to the care worker limitations. So if you come to the UK to do your master's in any of this field, you will likely get a job as soon as possible. Don't let anybody cajole you otherwise into believing that the only job available is the care job. Especially if you are a student, you might be told you can only get a care job after your graduation. There are so many top jobs in the UK for you to explore, then limit yourself to a care job. The essence of this video is for you to understand that if you go for a course that is in demand and relevant in the UK job market, you will definitely stand a higher chance of getting a job in your field. You do not want to settle for less and spend so much money studying an irrelevant course that will get you nowhere in the end. Some people in the past have been stranded and at the end, they go back to their home country. Not everyone wants to stay back in the UK. But for those people who are thinking of settling down with their dependents in the UK, then all this advice should be taken seriously. The final advice that we will give you is if you are already in the UK on a study visa with your dependents and you think your final straw is a care visa, then we would advise that your dependent can apply and get the certificate of sponsorship before spring of this year. This is because of the limited time involved right now. Most importantly, also for your own benefit. Once you graduate, you can switch to be your spouse's dependent and you do not have to worry once you finish your studies. If you have children, your children will be able to switch with you. Like we explained earlier, the rule doesn't affect those who are already in the UK here with their dependents. Those who got their visas before the rules come to effect in spring 2024 are not affected. They will still be allowed to move to the UK or remain in the UK with your dependents except you get the visa after spring 2024. If you feel a care visa is the easiest option for you, go ahead and get it done right now. We hope this video has been helpful. Thanks so much for watching till the end. Remember to subscribe and activate the notification button icon, so you don't miss any new updates. Bye for now.